You see, love isn't just a moment at the altar. It isn't sealed forever in wedding photos or anniversaries. Love is alive, and like anything living, it needs breath, it needs light, it needs nurture. It needs rediscovery. Tonight, I'm not here to talk to you about marriage in the traditional sense, about roles or obligations or the politics of partnerships. I want to speak heart to heart about something deeper, the awe, the gratitude, the reverence of choosing someone every day and finding something new in them every time. Let me begin with a simple question. When was the last time you really saw your spouse? I don't mean passing by them in the kitchen or exchanging updates on the kids or groceries. I mean, really saw them. Their eyes, their posture, their silence, their weariness, their quiet joy, their unspoken fears. We often believe we know everything about the person we married. Their habits, their favorite foods, the way they fold their laundry or hum when they cook. And in that familiarity, a dangerous illusion can take root, the illusion that we no longer need to learn them. That we already know. But the truth is this. Your spouse is not who they were yesterday. And neither are you. Life changes us. Every joy, every disappointment, every small victory, every sleepless night, they shape and reshape us. Your partner is evolving, growing, aching, dreaming in ways you may have stopped noticing. And if you've stopped noticing, you've started drifting. But here's the miracle. You can find your way back. Every single day. Not by searching for the person they were, but by falling in love with who they are now. And who they are still becoming. 1. Curiosity is the language of love. When we first fall in love, curiosity is effortless. We ask questions. We stay up all night talking. We notice the smallest things, the way they bite their lip when they think, the stories they tell about their childhood, the way they light up when they talk about something they love. But somewhere along the way, we stop asking. We stop being curious. We trade wonder for routine. And without wonder, love begins to quietly fade. Let me say this clearly. Love dies not from conflict, but from neglect. And the antidote, curiosity. Ask them again, how was your day, really? Ask them what they're afraid of now. What excites them? What keeps them up at night? What dream they buried 5 years ago and wonder if it's too late? Be curious, not just about the facts of their life, but the state of their soul. 2. Everyday moments are the canvas of intimacy. We often search for grand gestures, romantic vacations, anniversary surprises, passionate date nights. And those are beautiful. But the true rediscovery of a spouse happens in the quiet, in between places. When you choose to sit together in silence instead of scrolling through your phones. When you decide to dance in the kitchen while dinner simmers. When you reach for their hand, even after a hard day, especially after a hard day. When you say, tell me what's been on your mind lately, I want to understand. These aren't just nice moments. These are the sacred threads that weave a lifelong bond. Love doesn't thrive on lightning bolts, it thrives on attention. And attention in small moments is where rediscovery lives. 3. Let go of the myth of arrival. We are sold a lie that once you find the right person, the work is over. That once you've married them, or moved in, or had children, or reached a milestone together, the rest is automatic. As if love is a one-time achievement. But love is not a finish line. It is a daily choice. You didn't marry a photograph. You married a soul. And that soul has depth beyond what you've yet seen. 1,000 lifetimes could not exhaust who they are. So stop acting like you've arrived. Begin again. Ask new questions. Try new things together. Heal old wounds with fresh grace. Look at them as if they are still a mystery to be unfolded. Because they are. 4. The pain of distance is an invitation, not a sentence. There may be some of you listening tonight who feel distant from your spouse right now. Maybe you've grown apart. Maybe trust has frayed. Maybe the romance has dimmed. Maybe life has buried you both under children, careers, illness, or grief. If that's you, let me say something directly and gently. This is not the end. It's the beginning, if you choose it. Distance does not mean disaster. It means there is space to close. And every inch of that space is an opportunity to rediscover, to rebuild, to reconcile not just with each other, but with the parts of yourselves you've both forgotten. Lean into the awkwardness. Have the conversation. Say the words you've swallowed for years. Forgive more quickly. Fight more honestly. Say, I miss us, and mean it. Because rediscovery doesn't happen only when things are good, it often begins because things feel broken. And beauty comes when you begin again, not from where you were, but from where you are. 5. See them through the lens of grace. Perhaps one of the greatest gifts you can give your spouse is to see them not just as they are, but as they're trying to be. Every day, your spouse is showing up with invisible battles. Fears they haven't voiced, insecurities they hide, regrets they carry silently. You want to rediscover them. Look with grace. Catch them doing something right and tell them. Notice when they're trying, even if it's imperfect. Compliment their character, not just their actions. Say, "I'm proud of you," even if they haven't said they need to hear it. Say, "Thank you for being you," even if you think they already know. Rediscovery is not just about what they show you, it's about how you choose to see. 6. Grow together, not just side by side. Some couples drift because they live parallel lives. Co-managers, co-parents, co-survivors of busy weeks and tired nights. And while that's sometimes inevitable, it cannot be the default. Growth must be shared. Pick a book to read together. Learn something new as a team. Set goals that stretch you both. Talk about your spiritual life. Discuss your legacy. Ask, who do we want to become, not just as individuals, but as us? Every time you grow together, you discover layers in each other that only emerge in motion. And the best part, you don't need to be the same. You just need to be committed to growing in the same direction. 7. Speak the love they understand. We all give and receive love differently. Maybe your spouse needs words of affirmation. Maybe they need physical affection. Maybe acts of service or quality time or small thoughtful gestures speak louder than anything else. Here's the key: speak the love they understand, not just the love that comes naturally to you. When you love them in their language, you uncover new facets of who they are, what matters to them, what moves them, what makes them feel seen. And in seeing them, you're not just rediscovering, they're revealing. That's intimacy. That's sacred. 8. Laugh more, judge less. One of the most underrated forms of intimacy is laughter. The silly kind, the inside jokes kind, the "remember that time we totally failed" kind. Rediscovering your spouse doesn't always have to be heavy or serious. Sometimes, the most profound reconnection happens through humor, when you both let your guard down and remember that marriage is not just about solving problems but sharing joy. And along with that laughter, drop the judgment. Your spouse doesn't need a critic. They need a companion. They need someone who will laugh with them, not at them. Someone who will see their flaws and love them more, not less. 9. Be brave enough to be vulnerable again. One of the saddest things I've seen is couples who, over time, build walls instead of bridges. They stop sharing their raw emotions, their doubts, their deepest longings. They become roommates instead of soulmates. But vulnerability is the birthplace of rediscovery. When you share the tender parts of yourself, you create a space where your spouse can do the same. And in that mutual courage, you unlock chambers of each other's hearts that have been closed for far too long. Say what you've been afraid to say. Ask for what you really need. And don't just listen, receive them. That's where rediscovery begins again and again. 10. Choose them. Every day. Let me end with this. Love is not passive. It is not sustained by autopilot or nostalgia. It is a fierce, faithful, beautiful decision, made in the quiet places of your soul every morning. And here's the truth. You will not always feel in love. But you can always act in love. You will not always be aligned. But you can always lean in. You will not always have answers. But you can always ask questions. You will not always have passion. But you can always choose presence. Rediscovery is a discipline of the heart. It says, "I'm still here. I'm still looking. I still believe there's more to you." And it says, "I won't stop being amazed by who you are becoming." So tonight, I challenge you, no matter how many years or miles or misunderstandings have passed, to wake up tomorrow and say, "I want to know you again." Look at your spouse not as a fixture in your life, but as a miracle, unfolding, imperfect, breathtaking. And then begin the greatest journey of all. Not to change them, not to fix them, but to rediscover them, every single day. Thank you.